Erin Krakow just gave Hardee's the first real glimpse of her daughter since becoming a mother, and she did it in the most ordinary, unstaged way possible. Mid-travel at an airport, on her way back to the exact show that brought her and her husband together in the first place. Let's go through the full story. How Erin and Ben's relationship went from a total secret to a wedding nobody saw coming. What we actually know about their daughter, since they've been fiercely private about her from day one. What these brand new July 29 photos actually show us. Why the timing of this specific post might be the sweetest part of the whole thing. And then, since this trip is taking them straight to filming, everything we actually know about what season 14 itself has in store. First, some background, because Erin and Ben's love story has genuinely unfolded almost entirely out of public view, which is rare for two people this visible. Erin Krakow has played Elizabeth Thatcher Thornton on When Calls the Heart since the show launched in 2014. She's been the emotional anchor of Hope Valley for well over a decade. Ben Rosenbaum has played the recurring role of Mike Hickam since season 1. The two of them have been linked for years, but they kept everything about their actual relationship low profile to the point that they never even confirmed an engagement to fans. The first the public actually learned they were married at all came in June 2025 when they shared wedding photos completely out of nowhere. Erin in a modest satin dress with short sleeves and a long tulle veil with lace trim, her hair curled short, Ben in a brown double-breasted suit with a white undershirt. Fellow actors flooded the comments. Tyler Hines wrote, "Love and stuff," and Tamara Mowry commented, "Curls are gorgeous. Congrats." By every indication, they'd already been married for some time before anyone outside their closest circle knew a thing about it. Then came the pregnancy announcement, which followed the same pattern of doing things their own way. A joint Instagram post, black and white photo booth style pictures of the two of them holding up a sonogram together, smiling, with their dog Willoughby dressed in a Big Brother shirt for the occasion. Erin captioned it simply, "So much to be grateful for." Their daughter actually arrived in early April 2026, but true to form for this couple, they kept it completely private for over 2 months afterward. Their last visible Instagram activity before that long silence was a Mother's Day post, and it turned out, unbeknownst to fans reading it at the time, they'd already welcomed their baby weeks earlier. The public didn't actually learn their daughter had arrived until June 23, when they gave people the exclusive reveal. Our precious new family member entered the world in early April, they told the outlet. Our daughter has been the greatest gift, and we are loving getting to know her better with each passing day. They shared that loved ones have told them she looks like a total combo of the two of us, though so far they mostly catch the resemblance in flashes of expression or certain angles in pictures rather than head-on. They also opened up honestly about how completely parenthood reshaped their priorities overnight. First and foremost, now we are parents, and the needs of our child are always top of mind. That happened instantaneously in a way no other life experience has affected us before. They added that becoming parents together had only deepened their partnership as a couple. That June 23 reveal came with real professional photos rather than a casual phone snap, taken by California-based photographer Laura Ize, along with a pregnancy portrait by Ali Beck. Their daughter was dressed for the occasion in 100% organic cotton, ecru dress with embroidered foliage, made by a small family business called One Plus in the family based in Barcelona, Spain complete with a coordinating lace-knit bodice, ruffled shoulders, and buttons down the back. Fans flooded the comments within 24 hours. One writing, "We all have been waiting like expectant aunts and uncles." And that brings us to now, and I think this is genuinely the sweetest update of the whole saga. On July 29, Erin posted again for the first time since that June reveal 2 brand new photos, captioned "plain selfie," not a plain selfie. At WTabDVE, here we come. The photos show her mid-travel, her daughter tucked securely into a front-facing carrier against her chest, just a hint of the baby's head visible in the frame, still carefully protecting her full face from public view, the exact same way they have from the very beginning. Ben is right there with them, and so is Willoughby, all of them making their way together to Vancouver, where filming for When Calls the Heart Season 14 is about to begin. I honestly think there's something genuinely lovely about a couple who fell for each other on the set of this specific show, now bringing their actual daughter to that same set for the very first time in her life. Now, since this trip is taking them straight into production, let's talk about exactly what that season is actually going to look like, because there's a lot already confirmed. Season 14 was renewed all the way back in December 2025, weeks before Season 13 had even premiered, which tells you how confident Hallmark already was going in. And the Season 13 finale, which aired March 22, packed in an almost overwhelming number of major turns. Elizabeth and Nathan finally got engaged after seasons of slow burn. Lucas Bouchard stepped down as governor and endorsed Mayor Maisie Hickam to succeed him. The Benson Hills residents, who'd come to Hope Valley after a fire tore through their own town earlier in the season, departed. Angela Canfield, who'd left for college at the end of season 12, returned, as did Edie Martell, back from several episodes spent in Union City. And then, in the episode's final moments, came the twist nobody was fully braced for. Abigail Stanton, Lori Loughlin's character, stepped out of a car back in Hope Valley with tears in her eyes and said quietly to herself, "It's good to be home." It was actually an early tease. Her full comeback had originally been planned to arrive with season 14 itself, but the show gave Hardy's this preview a full season ahead of schedule. For anyone who needs the full context, Abigail was written off the show back in season 6 after Loughlin's involvement in the Operation Varsity Blues college admissions scandal. She and her then husband, Massimo Giannoli, paid $500,000 to get their daughters falsely admitted to USC as rowing recruits, and Loughlin pleaded guilty in 2020 to conspiracy charges. Her last episode before that finale cameo had aired all the way back on May 5, 2019. Michelle Vickery, Hallmark Media's head of programming, addressed the return directly. Since the series' debut in 2014, the character of Abigail Stanton was a fan favorite and beloved by the Hardys. At its core, the Hallmark brand is about hope, positivity, and connection, which is also the central theme of When Calls the Heart. We felt that season 14 was the right time to continue Abigail's story with her return to this beloved series. Loughlin herself has since made several appearances alongside the cast, including at the Hallmark Christmas Experience in December and a joint WCTH and Hope Valley 1874 celebration on March 18, where she said, "I just want to thank everyone at Hallmark for being so loving and so welcoming. And this just feels incredible. We have such a special cast and such a special bond, and it's just so nice to be back with my family." She's confirmed to appear in at least 6 episodes of the new season, As for the storylines season 14 will actually carry forward, the headline one is obvious. Elizabeth and Nathan's wedding, the full payoff of that season 13 engagement. Showrunner Brian Bird told Parade in March that the season is fun and epic, and added a genuine warning for fans getting too comfortable. The audience needs to buckle up and not get too comfortable with Nathan and Elizabeth, because there is more coming. Lucas and Edie's relationship is also expected to keep developing, with a notable portion of it reportedly unfolding in New York City rather than entirely back in Hope Valley, which tracks with Edie's legal aid work pulling her there. Young Allie and Deputy Mountie Oliver's budding connection is also expected to keep growing. And of course, Abigail's actual reintegration into Hope Valley life after 6 years away is going to be one of the season's most emotionally anticipated threads. The full returning cast alongside Krakow, McGarry, and Laughlin includes Pascale Hutton as Rosemary Coulter, Coven Smith as Lee Coulter, Jack Wagner as Bill Avery, Chris McNally as Lucas Bouchard, Miranda McDougall as Edie Martell, Martin Cummins as Henry Gowan, Ben Rosenbaum as Mike Hickam, Andrea Brooks as Faith Carter, Viv Leacock as Joseph Canfield, and J.Ada Lily Miller as Allie Grant, among many other familiar faces returning to town. And Erin and Ben aren't heading into this new season alone in more ways than one. Kevin McGarry, who plays Nathan, welcomed his own first child with Kayla Wallace in late spring. Chris McNally, who plays Lucas, and his wife Julie Gonzalo just added a second daughter to their family in June, which means when season 14 begins production, Hope Valley isn't just welcoming back its usual cast for another season of storytelling. It's welcoming an entire new generation of real families showing up alongside the fictional one. Their daughter's name still hasn't been shared publicly, and given how carefully Erin and Ben have guarded every detail about her, I wouldn't expect that to change anytime soon. When Calls the Heart season 14 begins filming this summer in Vancouver, with Krakow returning as Elizabeth and Rosenbaum as Mike, ahead of a 2027 premiere. Drop a comment and tell me, did these plane selfies make your day the way they made mine? And are you more excited for Elizabeth and Nathan's wedding or Abigail's full return to Hope Valley? Because honestly, between 3 real Hallmark babies and Lori Loughlin finally coming home, season 14 already feels like it's carrying more emotional weight than almost any season before it.